Quest presents an unabridged recording of A Vow of Compassion by Veronica Black, narrated by Jennifer Ness. 1. The wards were quiet this September night. Sleep enfolded many of the occupants of the white-curtained cubicles, while slumber's younger sister, relaxation, slowed the breathing and soothed the muscles of those deputed to keep alert. It had been an unusually busy day, with 3 babies deciding to arrive at the same time in the small maternity wing and 2 suspected heart attacks in the geriatric ward. Added to that had been a steady stream of minor accidents through casualty and a muddle in the administration office which had resulted in a healthy young man who had recovered nicely from a hernia operation being scheduled for a hip replacement, while a limping old lady had spent the day asking plaintively when she could expect to be wheeled into the theatre. Fortunately, it had been sorted out before any harm was done, at the expense of red faces all round, but ward sister Sophie Meacham had been driven to gulp down a couple of aspirins before she had felt able to trot briskly into the manager's sanctum and assure him that there had been a blip on the computer. "And God bless computers," she muttered, giving Clary a friendly pat. Computers could be blamed for everything, and the beauty of it was that a computer couldn't be fined or sacked and never burst into tears when receiving a severe dressing down. Now all was still and peaceful. Sophie rose from her chair and switched off the desk lamp, moving to the window that looked out over the car park and the main street to the moors that rose into the star-hung sky. She had worked in this small Cornish town for 3 years now and never ceased to thank her good fortune in having been selected to work at St. Keen's Cottage Hospital. Cottage was an acronym, really, but the old name had stuck even after the hospital had become a fund-holding concern. The patients here were mainly local people who often knew one another and the medical staff by name, and in her off-duty hours, Sophie could leave the town behind her and walk up on the moors, which stretched past the housing estate and the new supermarket, and left all the buildings behind as they raced in a tangle of blowing grass and rich heather towards the sea. One day, she had promised herself, she would walk as far as the sea and scramble down the rocks onto one of the pebbled coves that made the coastline at once enchanting and treacherous. So far, she had only made it as far as the convent of the Daughters of Compassion that stood proudly on the high moor with its grounds.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?